See, we just started. I'm sorry, Give me some tissue. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get myself together, y'all. So, just give me a second. So there will be no more Mood Mondays. No more Mood Mondays. On my Facebook timeline. Alright. Let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? If you are joining me live, thank you for joining me. And happy Monday to you. I know I'm a fool, right? I'm an absolute fool. Here's the worst part about it. If you're tuning in right now, let me see something. Let me refresh my page first. Let me make sure I'm live. Let me make sure I'm actually live. We are live. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. So I know I'm a fool, right? But here's the worst part. I had to do that twice just now. So like my face is actually like I actually am crying right now. I actually like really am crying. But the thing is, the reason why I'm crying is because I just did that twice. The first time I did it, I was broadcasting to the wrong page, so I had to do it again. So I really did have water in my nose and eyes and everything. What's up, everybody? So yes, actually, this is not false advertisement. This really will be my last Mood Mondays. It really will be. But on my personal timeline. It's just the beginning, y'all. It's just the beginning. So hold on a second. Let me get some water. Hold on. So this bottle right here was actually filled to the top, like before those shenanigans. But half of it is in my eyes right now. All right, and if you just caught the live stream, if you just jumped in and you're like, I don't get it, just when it's done, go back to the top and you'll see. All right, so here we go. Why did I title this is my last Mood Monday? Because, like I've been telling you all for a while, I'm moving everything over to my personal figure page. Right there. You can't see it, but it's right there. My Aaron Hill's World personal figure page. And the main reason is because I have a whole lot that I give you all on a regular, but I have a whole lot more in store. And so I have to put it, I have to work this Facebooky thing in a way that works for like my entire community now and the community that I'm building. So that's why everything will be to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. Everything will be on my public figure page, and I'll be broadcasting from there now on. If you are just checking out this live stream, hey Alice, how you doing? Alice, when you get a chance, take it from the top of the video once we're done, and it'll all it'll make sense. So the thing is, if you did not get a chance to, with the exception of, let me see if I can remember, my friend Donetta Hinton, shout out to Donetta. My friend Eugene Barnes, shout out to Eugene. My friend Marie Anderson, hey Marie, shout out to you. With the exception of those three people, and I may have forgotten two more, you all didn't see my last Mood Mondays for last week. And it was pretty cool too. I was out hanging at Quarry Lake Cafe over here where I live in Mount Washington. And we had a great conversation. Incredible. But the thing is, I broadcast from my public figure page, and because of the fact that a lot of you all do not have your notifications set for that page, you don't see when I broadcast over there. So I just want to talk about a few things here, also share an entire week's worth of posts and fun times and all kinds of good stuff. And we're just going to have some fun. Excuse me. So, yeah, first things first, grab my... I'm forgetting my train of thought. Grab my live page, my public figure page rather, and hit the notifications button or hit follow. I think it's one of the two will allow you to see when I have notifications, and then that way you won't miss it. Because I have a whole audience over there as well. Anyway, let's get to the fun stuff. Okay, first things first. Let's go over the post for the week. Now, I really appreciate all the love and support that I've gotten on the quotes. If you have not already heard it, and if you're not subscribed to my podcast yet, what the hell are you doing? Hold on, let me tell you the name of it again. This is the name of it. It's called the Aaron Hill Podcast. And let me show you how you get there. Give me a sec. I'm going to show you how you get there. So, it's here at anchor.fm/Aaron Hill. Why do I want you to be over there? Because I'm literally living my life through my podcast right now. Like, I'm living every moment of my life. So you get a chance to hear way more of my conversations. You get a chance to hear conversations with other people, the information that I'm giving, just my rants, my motivational segments, why I adore Amma, my partner, my love. You get a chance to hear everything. And this is the way that I'm also going to start broadcasting my music. Excuse me, I'm still choking from that foolishness in the beginning. So that's where you want to be. So subscribe to my podcast. It's Aaron Hill. It's anchor.fm/Aaron Hill. And you'll get a chance to see everything I'm posting here, but in more depth. So let's go through the posts for the week. The first thing is I want to say thank you to everybody that came over to the public figure page to hang out with me for In the Shed this morning. It was a great time. And if you don't know what In the Shed is or what it's all about, it's an interactive practice show with your homie, your boy, your nephew, your brother, your whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. Doing practice thing, you know, I'm broadcasting my practice and I'm taking everybody on a journey, teaching the whole nine. So thanks to everybody that joined for In the Shed. For everybody that's been asking, yes, we are on a content program schedule now. So Mondays you can catch In the Shed. You can check it out. I'm trying to say two things at once. You can check out In the Shed at 9 a.m. on the public figure page or on my YouTube channel. And then Thursdays at 8 p.m. Trying to do a morning and an evening for musicians because I have people from all around the world. And so what is 8 o'clock a.m. here, North America, is like tomorrow night, tip of Australia, you know. So I'm doing two different times, but you definitely want to check it out over there and join the mailing list. Yesterday, I released a pocket piano tutorial, another musical thing. We're going to get to some other things too for people that are here that are not musicians. Stay tuned because we're going to talk about some other things. But for musicians, I put out excuse me, I am really choking. I like literally drown myself with water to do that first part. So, pocket piano tutorial. I released a tutorial yesterday for the group Moonchild. Their song All the Joy. It's one of many pocket piano tutorials that I have and one of many that I'm actually doing. So check that out. Musicians, let me know what you think, what you gauge from it, what you get from it, what you like about it. Also, the performance track of that will be coming out shortly, and it will be featuring one of my favorite vocalists from here in Baltimore. I'm not going to give her name away because I want you to stay tuned. We're going to be doing a cover, and I'm going to be releasing a track of All the Joy Moonchild for the world. Everybody who's karaoke lovers, as well as, you know, if you want to record your own version, blah, blah, blah. All right, next up. It's time to get out of our own way. I want to know who's with me. So, this was my post about not being the magician and the convinced audience. A bit of motivation for all of us. Check it out. Sometimes thinking too long and hard can make you miss out on a moment. Don't get me wrong, there's a time for long-term planning and thinking things out, which is most of the time for me. But if you're honest, there's some things you know you need to do, and the supposed mature conversation that you keep having in your head, reviewing it and patiently assessing it, is just a way to BS and stall yourself while feeling perfectly justified. This is a way of being both the magician and the convinced audience at the same time. You already know what you need to do, and you have gone over it in your head 1,000 times. At this point, the review process has actually and factually been correctly identified by the authorities as fear, with a side order of procrastination due to fear. Time to stop playing games and go get what's yours. After I shouted this to myself, I surrendered, I agreed humbly, typed this message. Thanks for the needed kicking ass, Aaron. So that was a piece that I wrote a couple months ago, I think it was, that I wrote that piece. And you get it. Need I say more? We all need that kick. We all need that kick every now and then. And the thing I realize sometimes is that we're kind of playing these mind games with ourselves. You know, we tell ourselves, when I get $1 more in my pocket, that's when it's going to be time. I'm going to be ready to go. All the stuff that I've been saying for the last year and a half. I just need one more. Where's my wallet? I need $1. Because all I needed was $1,002. And I have $1,001. But I've been waiting on this dollar for the last 6 months. That's why I haven't done anything or moved on my dreams. That was kind of cool. Y'all should see how the dollar landed. It landed perfectly. Like, we got to stop BSing ourselves. We got to stop it. And so that's what I want to help with. For myself, first of all, because I wrote that. And the funny thing is I wrote it to myself. And I was like, yeah, we all need this. We all need this. So my advice, once again, just to reiterate, excuse me, y'all. I'm telling you, if I didn't have to do that scene twice, I would have been all right. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's as my homie Black Thought says, The Roots, in one of his songs, that's the fun of the game. So anyway, we have to get out of our own way. We have to move on our goals and dreams and stop waiting for ideal conditions, because there is no such thing as ideal conditions. You know what ideal conditions are? Right now. Like, while life is what it is. Because nothing, you know, it's like having a loss in your family. You know, there's like not ever a perfect time for it. It's just, you can never prepare. Like, you just gotta be able to move through it. So that's how this is. You just gotta be able to move on your dreams and goals, and stop letting, because what's really happening is you're just fearful. What's really happening is you're just really afraid of other people's opinions. What's really happening is you're just afraid of your own inadequacy. It's just insecurities. That's all it is. It's not really what we're blaming it on. You know, the way you know that is like when you think about the last time you said that, and you're like, when I just, you know, Tuesday, when the sun rises on Tuesday in the east, and when Giants has a sale on bread, that I'm ready. No more procrastinating. No more. All right, y'all. So what's up next? Here we go. Next, my creed, my personal formula and creed, my formula for success. Some of you all have seen this. Some of you haven't. So the ones that haven't, like to hear it, here it goes. My formula for success: transparency and candidness lead the way, void of fear of judgment or criticism, with solace and confidence resting totally in knowing, even when nobody else knows, where my heart actually is at all times. My foundational driving force of positivity, my ability to set shit straight via mature conversations filled with integrity, intellect, wisdom, humility, and heaps on top of heaps of authenticity. genuineness, and most of all, in all caps, love, as opposed to being fearful of it or trying to avoid it. Judgment, negativity, pessimism, contrariness, purely for the sake of being contrary, and overall crab in the barrelness will be handled in the same way positive enforcement is. And I should have said positive reinforcement. I'm going to go back and edit that. As yet another reason to proclaim to the world and all that are actually in my corner who I am, what I want for myself, my family, and the world around me, set a matter or view straight, speak with wisdom of what I know, and to ask questions, inquire, and to learn and grow, all while leading the way as a thinker, student, teacher, and positive role model. Each moment will be used as a platform to serve my highest goal, which hasn't and will never change. To lead the way as a positive human being, thinker, motivator, educator, friend, student, and risk taker, while bringing value, positivity, love, thoughts to ponder on, calm, and excitement to the lives of all the people who've decided to stay connected to me on my journey and all the eyes that are watching from behind silent curtains. I'm impacting and will continue to impact the world around me with the power of confidence and vulnerability. I'm curious and I'm interested in your thoughts and feedback, and even a high five if you feel me. Aaron Hill. So that's my personal creed, my personal formula for success. I have to go back and look at the date of when I wrote that because I can't remember right off the bat. I think it might have been this past summer, this past fall, I think. Fall, between fall and, maybe coming out of summer going into fall. And I really appreciate that piece from the perspective of like, it's kind of a daily piece. Like you can read that every day and inspire, yourself. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that up, and I want to do more than just put it on Facebook. So I'm going to find some other medium because I'm getting ready to put all these kind of things into like an ebook and that kind of thing. But I really want that to be something that you read every day. But I don't want you to have to dig back down into a Facebook feed to do that. So give me a hot sec. I'm going to figure out a way, like ASAP, to put that down. I already have it written out as a document, but to be able to put it somewhere, maybe on my website, maybe somewhere else. But that's just a way of reminding yourself, of why you should be confident and how you have the ability to create, the reality that you want. To a degree. And I say that like that for a particular reason. Because it's important to say that. We have, there's some things that are out of our control. Don't believe it, just look around us. We have things that are out of our control and out of other people's control. But there's a lot that's within our control as well when it comes to changing our circumstances, our surroundings, and our reality. So the thing that helps me every day is just realizing the power that I have. Like not really worrying about where I'm inadequate or where I'm incompetent, but like the power that I have to do in the areas that I have to do. This is one of the reasons, although I'm a secular humanist and atheist, why I appreciate the Serenity Prayer to no end. Because it's from a principle perspective, totally 100% nails it. You're looking at things, and there are three categories that things fall in. They fall in the category, two categories. They fall in the category of things that you have the ability to change and things that you don't have the ability to change. And that third prong of that equation is the thing that really is the differentiator between a person who is able to get and obtain peace and sustain peace and someone who wrestles with having peace and is frustrated and, like a lot of my spiritual and religious friends say, have trouble trusting the process. And it's interesting have this conversation with Amma a lot. It's so interesting because even though I'm a person who, doesn't identify with a particular spiritual religious path any longer, like when it comes down to trusting the process, it's all day for, like, the principles that everyone speaks about are like, they're where I am. They're naturally like my default. They're my natural thing. Although I might label them different, I might feel like they come from a different source or that kind of thing. But like in principle, so I'm a person that I don't really have trouble trusting the process because I never doubt. There's never a doubting of the process for me, and I think it's because of what I consider process. It really boils down to that, and it's why I really embrace my own views, and I appreciate where I am now, because most of us are looking for a specific set of conditions and outcomes. Most of us are looking for a particular outcome when we pray for things or when we positively affirm things. We're looking for a particular outcome. Many times when I hear people say, like, you know, I'm okay with any outcome because it's either God's will or it's, you know, the universe's will, or what have you, I don't really actually see that in practicality when it comes down to how things actually turn out. I see us really actually invested in the outcome of things, and I can't even knock it. Like it's not even a knock, but it is something to me because I've traversed through a lot of different, you know, patterns and modalities of thinking. And I realized that I'm going to tell you all the story about a dream that I had that spoke to this. So when it comes down to peace, my peace is rooted in the fact that it's not movable whether I'm in a situation where things are quote unquote not going the way that I desire them to go or not going well, or if things are going extremely well. To really get this point across without me rambling and, you know, it would be to say it in the simplest way, like, I don't let good things take me out of my place of peace. I don't let blessings, I don't let amazing things uproot me from a place of peace. And this is a principle that I meditated and stumbled on like in 2000, I want to say 10 or 11. I had a dream about the last traditional church that I played for, where I was leaving there and I was walking about a block away to a convenience store. And while I was walking, a truck came along, and, you know, it was a nice day. I set out to walk. Everything was fine. A truck came along, and a generous person just said, you know, where are you going? I'll give you a ride. I was like, well, I'm only going a block up, or it was maybe 2 blocks. And, but I was like, sure. The truck broke down a block before. And in that moment, I realized something. I had 2 ways that this could affect me. Now, I'm the type of person that doesn't believe you have control of your emotions. I just believe that you have a way of helping to influence your emotions in different ways. So I can't say I could choose to feel one of 2 ways, because I don't think the word choosing and feel are actually, I don't believe it's that simple. But I had 2 ways of feeling, or at least it seems like a binary kind of equation. I could have even been disappointed that the truck broke down and I didn't make it to the destination, or I could think to myself, well, I was going to walk anyway, so like I'm grateful that I got this far, and I'm not putting my contentment, I'm not putting my peace, I'm not putting like my vibe for how I feel on some other thing working out, some other thing going in a way that I wanted to go. Like that, I think that's so important, because it's a thin line between being optimistic. I'm a super optimistic guy, but it's a thin line between being optimistic, being positive, and being hopeful, and not allowing for like reality to be reality, and just working more so on accepting things the way they are. You know, many of us don't know how to do that. We don't know how to accept how things are, and at the same time be optimistic or hold up, you know, hope or have faith. Most of us don't know how to do that. And so what I watch people do a lot of times especially in different spiritual and religious paths, is I see people who struggle actually more so with accepting what is. And then when you start to get into the area of, and I won't go deep on this because I'll save this for another conversation, but once you start getting into the area of telling yourself certain things that you might not be able to prove or have evidence of, but it sounds like a good idea, or something that's always been taught or upheld, or you just have faith, like, then you can get into the realm of telling yourself things that, instead of just dealing with something and being able to cope with it, you start redirecting, and what's the word I'm looking for? They become distractions. You start distracting yourself with other fanciful ideas many times, in order to try to rationalize things or understand why things are the way they are, instead of just being able to accept things the way they are and just focus on, like, this is life. Sometimes things are irreversible. There's so many people who I see who look at the concept of sickness as like something where, like, you have this thing that you could either pray to or for, and then things will be taken care of. So that's one thing, and that, okay, cool. But then it doesn't leave room for things not to go that way a lot of times. And so, but we still face the same circumstances, so things do go the opposite way. And then I see people try to come up with a whole other reason because what they were telling themselves before didn't actually go that way. Anyway, we'll talk about a lot of that later because I don't want to stay on that. I got a whole bunch more. But this whole creed is about you. And the reason I was telling that story was that since that time, since I had that dream, ever since, I stay even keel when it comes to my life. So I not only don't let bad things get to me and get me down, I don't let good things take me out of this place of peace, because good things will go away. They're temporal. Everything is temporal. And so if you get too invested in positive outcomes, if you get too invested in things that you, by faith, I know if you get too invested, then you get to the point where you actually don't know how to deal with when things aren't going to go the way that you have been telling yourself all this time. I've watched people literally become sick and still say, like, this isn't supposed to be, because I have faith that it'll be. And then when they realize it won't, then they just flip and go, okay, well, maybe it's not, but it's something. And it's like, wow, you struggle with just going through something that was just normal. So anyway, all right. So listen to that creed every day. I think that is something helpful, and it gives you the ability to just focus on what you can do, to be able to know have the wisdom to be able to tell the difference between what you can change and what you can't. That third prong is it. Shout out to now when it gets to the rest of the Serenity Prayer, yeah, you can, for me at least. But in principle, first part is a gem. All right. I put up a post that says, monitor your petty level. Monitor your petty level. Everyone possesses it in some area of their life. I sure do, and I know where mine is. And usually it's in the place where we're most naive to it, or would at least expect it. Shout out to Jay, my good friend Jay, who I've been having great conversations with this week on Facebook. Shout out to you, Jay, for dropping a line. Shout out to Marva for dropping a line. Shout out to Jay for dropping a line on that post about your petty. If you're watching this now, drop a line on that post too, because we're going to keep talking about pettiness. And I'm going to talk about my pettiness and where it is and all that good stuff. But it's important to know that, because if you're naive to that, then when you are being petty, you'll blame it on other people. Like, you'll blame scenarios and situations on other people when the whole time it's just you. Like, the whole time it's just really you in your own funk. But if you don't know you're petty, if you don't recognize you're petty, then you think everybody else is being petty, when it's really, I should have snuck that up on you. It's really you and me. All right, here we go. So I put out a podcast this week thanking my first listeners to the podcast. And I want to give another shout out here. Shout out to my good friend Joel Brown, my good friend Myron, and his wife, I believe, Michelle. Myron, Michelle, Joel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So these were the first listeners to my podcast, and they dropped a voice message, because what you're able to do is drop a voicemail message or voice message to any podcast that you listen to of mine. And the beautiful part about that, as you all can see, I'm a conversationalist. I'm a person that just loves relating, and I am I'm an extroverted. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a good way to put this. I'm gonna come up with a good way to put this, but I basically want to say I'm a social media extrovert, but a personal introvert. So I love relating to people, as you can see, and at the same time, I like being by myself. Go figure. But actually, I really like being around people more, and I like more so relating to people. I just don't like big crowds, but that's why I enjoy this, and that's why I enjoy the podcast. Because on the podcast, like Joel and like Myron and Michelle did, you get a chance to leave a voice message to the podcast, and then I'm going to start featuring those in my upcoming podcast, because I'm going to be using those for conversations. I basically want to know your thoughts. You leave your thoughts on the conversation, and then I put those thoughts into the next podcast, and then I respond to it. And then basically we have a conversation that way. So go buy the podcast. Don't forget, this is the name of it, anchor.fm/Aaron Hill. Listen to something and drop a message. My next post on February 9th, you've never been a one-trick pony, and you never will be. Don't let anyone box you in or limit your potential. This came from a conversation with another good friend who was on the podcast. I want everybody on the podcast. Will you be on the podcast? Like, will you have a conversation with me? If you will, just drop yes. Do this, and I'm so serious about this. Put yes in the comments, and then next to it, put what you would like to talk about. Like, not something that it has to be my interest. Something that's on your mind. And what I'm going to do is, from that, I'm going to pick a number of people, and we're going to do it. Let's do that. Any topic. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't have to be music. It could be anything. Let's just talk. So I was talking to Willie Fields, on the podcast, and I was basically helping him with some ideas for his personal goals, his personal brand, his future legacy. Willie Fields, check him out if you can. He's on Facebook, and you're going to see a really fun and cool video of him. Really cool video. I'll tell you about it in a second. But check him out on Facebook. And him and I, we were talking about, he's a musician, and we were talking about how to take his brand and his legacy to the next level. He's a person just like myself, where there's multiple things that he does. There's multiple aspects to his personality. He's not just a musician. He's not just a one-trick pony. And so this quote came out of that conversation, just talking to him about that and being really excited to help someone else who I could identify with, because like I was telling him and like I'm telling you, prior to the last 5 or 10 years of social media and of the internet, people who were multi-talented were basically cursed. Because if you have multiple things that you do well, then it means that, there are not enough avenues for multi-talented people. There were more avenues for one-trick ponies. If you were just an incredible artist, then there was the music industry one way. If you were an incredible artist in one genre, boom. If you were a person that all you did was paint, then boom, there was one, industry for you. That worked out in some people's favor, but in other people's favor, like myself and Willie and others like you, it doesn't quite work. Like, you do more than just one thing. So what I'm trying to do right now in this season of my life, as I do it and as I apply it, is to help everybody to understand how you can take your message, your brand, whatever you stand for, and how to be able to use social media in a way to formulate a complete package of who you are. So listen to that conversation with him. That's a part of the GEMS conversation. And if you haven't been keeping up, GEMS is giving everyone my science. And it's just casual conversations where I just give my advice for what it's worth. I want you to listen to that, because it's basically, these conversations are for everybody, for you to be able to pull from and apply for yourself. All right. Next thing I put up on February 9th was, as they say in boxing, let's get ready to rumble. I'm getting ready to take my daily inspiration, motivation, education, and general entertainment to a whole other level. If you've been following my content on any level, please listen to this conversation. It's about to be on like popcorn. And that was another podcast conversation. Basically, I put on Facebook a couple weeks ago, I'm getting ready to be an information powerhouse, because I have a lot that I give, but I have a lot more to give. And now I figured out how to streamline it. I've got some help, and I'm going to be teaching other people too who are entrepreneurs like myself, or if you're a musician or artist, or if you whatever field you work in. I'm going to be teaching you too how to structure your business, how to structure your business and your platform and your team, or how to have a team first of all, and how to not have everything on yourself and to get more done. So I'm excited because I get a chance to do more in the areas that I've been wanting to do. Again, these are areas that 20 years ago they just had no lanes. Like the area of my quotes and my poetry and my writing. I started off as a poet when I was about between 6 and 8 years old. My mom used to love my poems, and they were pretty good. At some point, I flipped from there and became a hip-hop lyricist. And so it really added to my poetic, flow. Added a whole different dimension to it. Then I got into music as far as playing the piano and became a producer and an engineer. I haven't done a whole lot as far as my own personal lyricism, my own voice. I've written a lot of songs and other people sing. If you all have heard the group, you hear all the Fruition songs, and Amma is singing like all the songs that I wrote and all this kind of thing. But, as far as my own personal voice. So, I don't plan on like trying to pursue a career as a full-time rapper or anything like that. But I do have some poetic things that I want to do, and a lot of it comes through my quotes. There'll be more that comes through my music in the form of like reprogramming, like saying mantras that go over certain beats, like the ones you hear in the background, where I'm just using lyricism to get you all in it, just flowing. And that kind of thing is resurfacing. So between my daily quotes, between like a lot of my daily vlogs, it's getting ready to be like, so check that out. And you already know why I'm pointing here. I'm not even gonna say it again. What's over there? If you came in the last 10 or 15 minutes, you might not know. That's my public figure page right there. You just can't see it. Go over there and hang out with me, as well as my YouTube channel, Aaron Hill TV. I got another post. I love helping multi-talented people. This was the post with Willie. Go check that out. Here's another quote. So I was saying that the inward journey is the only worthwhile journey. And the quote was, go within or you'll inevitably go without. I think it speaks for itself. I like the simplicity of the phrase and the double meaning of the words. So I hope that's one. One other thing that I'm doing, that why I'm so excited about these quotes, is that I'm putting together recordings where these recordings you just hear me saying quotes over some of my own original music. And these will be pieces that you'll be able to wake up to every day for motivation. These will be pieces you'll be able to play midday when the job and the boss is getting on your nerves for motivation, while you're on your lunch break chilling and eating your whatever kind of sandwich you eat. And then you'll also be able to use these in the evening, your drive home, like if you need to decompress. You'll be able to go to sleep to them at night. I'm getting ready to start making sleep tracks. Like I listen to a lot of music when I go to sleep that's just about helping you to go to sleep. And the funny thing is, sometimes as I'm listening, I'm sitting there going, this is cool, but I'm having a hard time falling asleep because I'm like, man, I would have did something different. Man, why did they put that chord? That was cool right there. I would make a whole piece out of that. Like they should. I can't even go to sleep because my musician mind is analyzing the music. What does that tell me? That I need to get into the category. I need to get into the game. I need to be a part of the offerings of sleep music. I need to be a part of that particular expression. So I have a lot that's coming your way in the form of like piano meditations, sleep music, study music, meditation music. Like, boom, it's just going to be really fun. And these quotes are going to be on top of some of the pieces that I decide to have vocals on, as well as I'm going to feature some other friends. It's going to be amazing, so stay tuned for that. The next post I had on my timeline is called Cognitive Dissonance with Gospel, Episode 1. If you have not watched this, please watch it as soon as possible. I know y'all like, well, you ask us to watch everything or listen to everything as soon as possible. I know, I'm sorry. But this is important because this is a whole different side of my life that I'm like busting at the seams to share. I want more conversation around it, right? I know it's a taboo subject for many. So I'm starting a series, and we're going to see how far it goes because it really depends on how I feel. Like, I'm putting my time in places that are more important to me these days, and so we'll see. But episode 1 is available now. Cognitive Dissonance with Gospel, episode 1. What this is for those of you all that don't know, and for those of you all that do, I apologize. I'm going to keep it short. For the last 10 years, I built my success in the music industry as well as my own personal life around Christianity and gospel music. I'm no longer a Christian. I'm a secular humanist and I'm an atheist. So what that has meant is that things have changed for me in a way where at first, you know, it was no issue for me as far as continuing to participate in the music, the craft, the industry and all that, right? And it's a number of different things emotionally because it's the beginning of my musical journey when it came to like learning how to play the piano. The true beginning of my musical journey is right here. This is Jay Dilla, by the way. I'm gonna drop this playlist so y'all can. Some people have been asking like, what is that you listen to in the background while you? So I'm gonna drop this playlist to you all in the chat. But this is where my journey started: hip hop, and I was a hip hop lyricist and producer for the first from 14 to I started being interested in the piano at 18 and I started playing the piano at 21. So from 14 to 21, 7 years, my world was here, and I was doing so many things there, you know, with my group and everything. We didn't live in the times like we live in now, or else you would see way more of it and it would have actually been like something. But sorry, my internet just dropped out on me. But, you know, later was when I, you know, got into gospel and into a few other things. In fact, what I'm going to play right now, for your listening pleasure, since that paused on me, I'm going to play, and I wasn't going to do this because I was going to keep it a secret, but I'm going to go ahead and let the secret out the bag, even though this isn't finished or it isn't completed. So I have an album that's coming out, an EP that's coming out. It's going to be between 5 and like 7 songs, so almost an album. For those of y'all that don't know what EP is, extended play, and it's usually anywhere between 3 and 7 songs. Once you get to 8, it's just an album. This is the track. This is a song from my upcoming album called Diggin' on Dilla. Jay Dilla, who you heard in the background, is one of my favorite producers, so I always listen to him. And I'm remaking some of his music and doing my own versions. So this is the first track. It's called Diggin' on Dilla. It will debut on my podcast in the episode of Gems with my brother Daryl Williams. We're chopping it up at his place. I'm giving him some ideas for what he does. He's also a hip hop producer, and we go back to high school, so we're doing a little bit of reminiscing, plus, you know, giving him some advice, and we're just talking business and just talking fun time. So check that out. That's where this is going to air. But that's where my musical journey started, right? And so later on I got into gospel, and that was where I learned how to play the piano. I eventually put together a music business around that, and it was based on backing tracks, and it's still around. I've got like 2,000 videos on YouTube. Yes, I have 2,000 videos on YouTube, and I'm not saying that figuratively. If you go to Fruition Music Performance Tracks, There's 2,000 videos on there. And I also have, when you watch this video, or if you've seen it already, you saw in the beginning when I scrolled down that long list of albums that I released over the years. I have hundreds and hundreds of, not songs, albums that I released. So in about 2009, it's about 2009 or so, I started having some questions regarding things in life and things that I've been taught growing up, things that I learned, things that my entire life was invested in. I was pretty much a minister at that time. Ask anybody that I was in church with. And so I had some questions about some things, and I started doing research, and my eyes were open to some things. To a lot of things. A whole lot of things. And not dealing with stuff, with hypocrisy and pimps in the pulpit. And I'm even saying it that way because that subject, I never talk about stuff like that because, yes, that kind of stuff is out there, but that's not really the crux of what I really feel the issue is when it comes to religion, when it comes to Christianity, when it comes to religion in general, and just a number of things that we subscribe to. So with that, mine came more so in the form of education, learning about history, learning about really actually going to school for the Bible and actually going from beginning to end, having like an in-depth study. Like I'm not one of those people that has like church hurt, something like that, or didn't think about things. So anyway, this video is about the last aspect of that whole transition, which is that, I'm on a completely different path and I totally accept everybody's path. No issue with it at all for what is for a person. The tough part for me is I have a part of my life that I can't just let go, because of the fact that it's my livelihood, even to this day. It's still my livelihood as far as, even when I do no work, it's what pays my bills. And so with that, it makes for a journey and a transition. So this video is just sharing my authentic journey, just being honest about it, sharing like the vulnerable aspects of it, and like what this year will be for me as I transition through. So if you haven't already, check that out. Let me know what you think. Let's have some conversations. I'm going to be having many more conversations on my podcast about these things in general, but that's where we are right now. And with that, we are at 47 minutes. So I'm going to round off this we're going to just go last probably 10 minutes. And I'm just going to share a couple more quotes. And we're out of here. I thank you so much for joining me for this. Now, I apologize if you all have been leaving messages because with the way that I'm streaming right now, I don't see the messages, which is probably best because I probably would make it 2 hours not being able to stop talking to you all once you start talking. So I'll go back and, of course, as always, respond to every comment and we'll pick it up from there. So, yeah, check out the podcast, anchor.fm/Aaron Hill. Here's another quote for you. Being yourself is where it's at. Real simple, straightforward. Pride goes before a fall, so don't fall. And this is one of my favorites. Today, we'll end on this one. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. So take the time to make it count. Just want you to take the time to make it count. If you haven't seen it already, go check out my latest episode of In the Shed on my public figure page or on YouTube shortly. And the next episode, we'll talk about this. These are my love languages. Did the love language test this week, and this is what my outcome was. I want to talk about these things with you, and I also want you to be able to find out what yours is if you haven't already. You can go to 5lovelanguages.com and do a test, and then that way when we do the next Smooth Mondays, you can be able to tell me what yours was. So with that, we're out of here. The last thing I'm going to do is go out on a musical tip, and it's basically going to be the video that I released yesterday for Moonchild, All the Joy. If you are a musician then this is for you to check out so that you could learn, some chords, some new chords, learn this song, whatever, some new theory, the whole nine. And if you're just a casual music listener, hey Rashida, thanks for hanging out. If you're a casual music listener, then first off, have you ever heard of Moonchild? If you haven't, this song is amazing, and you should go check out their first album, which is called Please Rewind, and their second album, which is called Voyage. This is like a modern, neo-soul jazz group that's amazing. So, twofold purpose. Check this out, and we're out of here. I thank you all so much for joining me. Drop a line, and I'll talk to you all soon. Show some love, peace, all that good stuff. All right, y'all. Peace.
Hello, and thank you so much for watching this video. Before you get into the free information, I just wanted to take a quick second to make an announcement. After being a successful entrepreneur for over a decade, I'm having to start over, so to speak, due to reasons that I explain in great detail in the video that's located in the description of this video. And with that, I need your help. My goal is to initiate the law of reciprocity, or as I like to put it, my goal is to give my way to success. I'm gonna give my way to success. So I'll be giving away as much free information as possible. And this really is one of those if I had $1 for every person kind of situations. So if you find any value in this video with all the information that I'm giving, if you would, please consider giving a small donation towards my efforts of continuing to create videos like this, as well as my career in general. And I really mean it. I would encourage you to even give $1. It would really help. And if not, it's okay. Just continue to enjoy the video, like it, share it, and give the information to others. That also is a help to my efforts as well. So with that, please enjoy the information. And if you could, at least drop a line to let me know if the information was helpful and how you were able to apply it in your life. Thank you.
Distance. Oh, to know that you are mine to love sometime. I feel free. Never, never leave me. And I thought it was too soon. I'd fallen apart right in front of you. And I just in time. the spring. Faced with time enough to see it through. All the joys of love I'll give to you.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching the video. I hope that it was helpful to you in your hobby or your career. Also, if there was anything in the video that was a bit too advanced or you would like one-on-one help with, I offer lessons and coaching. And you can see more information about that too in the description below. I highly encourage that so that we can help you to tailor it directly to your specific needs. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on notifications so that you can see when I release more of these helpful and free videos. Thanks so much, and remember, what I know, you know. Peace.